Radiant team pick. 10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. TNC Predators turn. Ah! Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Radiant team back. Phantom Assassin.
Yeah.
TNC Predators turn to ban.
Yeah, that's true. It could be fully shaved as well, and that's a very different look. I have a picture that I'll post later for everyone to see, to be reminded of what could have been. Still, Mike, forget about the beard. We've got this game going on. Neon up against TNC. Another Filipino versus Filipino team, Mike. I love it. I love seeing our boys go up against each other. It's always fun. Had a bit of a chat with Whitemon. He does not like the fact. So this might just be confined to the Filipino community because it was, in a Filipino stream. Tim's was, streaming in Filipino. For everyone that doesn't know, Whitemon does enjoy KTV, and he did grace Tim's stream with a bit of a song in Filipino. So he's already blending in with the boys. It has turned out well for TNC, this shakeup. They are number 2 in groups right now, going 2-1, looking really good. Neon right now, kind of lagging behind, Mike, 0-2-2. So they need to start finding some wins, need to start climbing up in the last few days of groups. And we already have the draft on hand. Venge Snap for Neon. We know what the Snapfire does. Flexibility here. We've seen Yapaj play it. We've seen them put it on support. TNC, really early pick into the PA, but that has been a priority pause 1 for a lot of teams now, along with a Tiny, a lot of good burst, a lot of strong early heroes coming out here already for both sides.
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
Yeah.
TNC Predators turn to pick. Radiant team pick.
Oracle.
Yeah, and I love this draft coming out. TNC, they take the Oracle. So now you've got this second life for your PA. You've got so much enable power for the PA to just stand in front. You don't have to worry about the disarm on your end. You've got a way to dodge out the magic damage that can come out from the Snapfire with a Fate's Edict. So it lines up well with TNC. If I didn't know any better, I'd say this is the March hero, but it looks like, of course, without her friend March, who has moved on to Among Us instead, and actually going into Tier 1, which is quite good for him. But it is a bit different for me seeing the Oracle without March. I think when I see TNC, when I see the Oracle, I just think of March, and I miss it. I miss him.
10 seconds
Oh,
remaining.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
5 seconds remaining.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a diplomatic way of putting it, Mike. Still, you know. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Radiant team pick.
Ooh. Yeah, that's an interesting here to come out here. Leaves it up in the air, although it is starting to look like that
10
should be
seconds
our
remaining.
KP Elder Titan off. Perhaps the Tncvsneon play with
5
the
seconds
Oracle
remaining.
5, of course. Really up in the air though for what they want to do. Like we've seen Core Tiny come out from TNC before, so maybe they're kind of saving their last pick as flex, still kind of left up there. You mentioned it, Neon. Snapfire Mars, easy combination with Avenge as well, so anyone you miss outside the arena can be swapped in. Just straightforward, nothing too risque there, nothing too different from the norm for Neon. We know that they love the Mars. I believe JG's been playing that a lot when we see him, so
Radiant team
should be
back.
fairly straightforward enough for them to execute. They go to Sven as well, just stacking on top of that durability. That is one way to kind of take out the damage amplification the ET brings. You just get Warcry off, kind of offsets it. You know, you don't drop to 0 because you lose your base,
remaining.
but you also don't maximize the additional, but it kind of just balances out and cancels out
5
each other.
seconds remaining.
Mm.
TNC Predators turn to ban.
Mm-hmm.
Radiant team ban.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
TNC Predators turn to ban.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Seconds
Yeah.
remaining.
Yeah, it's gonna be a tough one. I think the BKB for our Sven
5
has to be key.
seconds remaining.
I'm actually not worried about hitting the PA. You just need to ensure that you get that clump up you're looking for. Focus on hitting someone else. The cleave damage will do the work. What I am worried about, you mentioned the Oracle. Not just these saves with the False Promise, but the natural disarm with Fate's Edict. Sven just doesn't do anything, and he will get the talent to Dispel. You need to rush that talent spike to get that Dispel off. Once you're there, I think you're kind of evening it out, but in the early game, definitely a harder time to just get the damage out as a Sven here.
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. TNC Predators turn to pick.
I like it. I actually do like it. Yeah, disarm for the PA. Building into the team fight, right? What do you have here from TNC to hold that? Nothing. You don't have room for a Grimstroke. You don't have room for a
10
Bane
seconds
coming in. I
remaining.
think it's a really strong last pick for Neon. They will have to play fast,
5
so they're
seconds
going to have to
remaining.
really run at you every time once they hit their 6 on at least 4 of these heroes and just really just win these fights.
Admiral Conquer.
Choose your hero.
Yeah. I mean, I like the Pangolier closer, but I think TNC's pulled out the big guns with a Kunkka. That does look a lot comfier here. Their team fight's greater. They've got the rum buff to play with. I think TNC's looking nice here. Neon, I'm looking at who's playing what, and play hard in the Pangolier with Januel on the Venge, Yupaj in the mid Mars, JG on the offlane Snap, and Scam and the Sven. The shakeup is strange. I think we've seen Neon do this before with her Pangolier.
5 seconds remaining.
Not completely sold on kind of running this this sort of distribution and farm. I think they've got to watch themselves at the pause for Pango. That is a bit of a harder sell. Like Snapfire off is good to rush the Yags, but I don't think a Snapfire 3 gains that much more farm over a Snapfire 4. So the timings for JG, it has to really match like a pure core snap here. Otherwise, this is just really going to hurt the Pangolier because he's got to take the backseat. Yep. Yeah.
I feel better already.
Yeah, they've got a lot of work to put in to really make this draft kick off. The mid lane's going to be where a lot of this rides, like Yupaj on that Mars. He's up against Armel Kunkka, and yeah, that's a special of his. You know, Armel knows how to dance on the edge. Armel knows how to land his torrents, to find the wins. Tideburner does not really particularly care for the Bulwark. You're still going to get the damage off, and you're still going to get control there, so... Neon, there's pressure here in the pause force to get rotations out, and this is where it goes back to play hard. Pause for Pango. How strong is the rotation potential of that Pango? It doesn't have as good control. The damage can be nice, but they've got to line up their shots well here, Neon, if they want to get that snowball start off. TNC, though, you see that disconnect, my classic C. Oh, yes. Oh yeah, so I had something called kare kare, right? Just vegetable kare kare, which is like a peanut stew. Peanut based stew. It's like brown in color, really nice, really rich. I had that with some crispy pork belly, like fried up pork belly. And it was so succulent. You mix the two, so it's like you get crispy kare kare. In the end, you add some shrimp paste, Filipino shrimp paste, bagoong in, and it's amazing. It's an amazing lunch. Not quite merienda. Like, you could start early merienda now, but I think Tim's might be waiting for after the series to hit his merienda timing. Maybe look for banana Q or some such, maybe bibingka. I don't know what Tim's actually likes. You know what? We always talk about Tim's merienda, but I've never asked him, Tim's, what is for merienda? I should get that fixed. Oh yeah, Armel as well. Yeah, it looks... He's dragged Whitemon with him. Yeah. Yeah, that they are. They've got to climb up, start finding those wins. Of course, it's always fun when you've got a Filipino team versus a Filipino team, right? As I love to call it, Rambulan comes in. Of course, funny enough, we do actually have official multi-language cast, so a bit of a shout out to the boys in WXC. They must be having fun with this one too. You know, when you have Filipino on Filipino fights, I've seen a couple of casts, you just tend to throw trash talk everywhere. You just absolutely tear into everyone every single time. You make fun of everything. OKP.
Yes.
30 seconds to battle.
I thought it'd come sooner.
The battle begins.
Armel was asking Januel why he's not playing Ricky here. And then they're all just laughing and Januel insults him. Yaoni Skem. Skem doesn't want the Ricky support to come in for Januel. And then, I don't know why he called Armel sheep, but inside jokes, I guess. Ricky. Januel Ricky. Hey, we've got to ask for it now, you know? They're calling it out, TNC. Armel wants it. That's not what you like to see. Still, the lanes will start to set up here. Tri-lane being broke up by TNC, so Tim's around with KP in this duel. It's gonna be a while until they get damage out, and you will have to watch the stun stacking here with Skem and Johnny Well. Toss.
Straight to the bottom with you.
Yeah, it's a lot of early aggression. I love seeing that from both sides. Both of them just want to win out early, just forcing each other to pop themselves early on. Should be a bit easier now for KP. He does get the level up, so he's on level 2, has that natural order. Once you have Tim's in level 2 as well, Avalanche Toss becomes a bit scary. Gonna have to watch out for that. Taking a look down mid, you've got Armel and the Kunkka, Yapaj on at Mars. You are seeing Yapaj pull slightly ahead. He's got his bottle, he's filling up. Armel has yet to get that farm up, and just being slightly behind like that in such a back and forth lane means that Yapaj gets a lot more sustainability and farm out of this lane.
Step lively now. Your admiral is on board.
To the rogue who wields the hammer of the gods. All mortal forms resemble broken nails.
They've still been rather effective here from Neon in slowing down Gabby's farm. Looking at his last hit, 7-0. It has been hard for him to just go up and get the last hits. Stifling Dagger, it is like a 6-second cooldown. If the wave is dying too fast, you can't clear it out as much.
How many times do you need to die before you learn your lesson? You're all washed up.
Yeah, at the least now he does have his bottle. So Armel kind of gets that up. Is going to hit 4, but Yapaj is just about to hit 5. We are going to see the 4-minute runes as well. Got to be careful in this one.
Dire's structures are fortified.
Step lively now. Your admiral is on board.
Oh. Oh.
What?
You don't have the sack.
Yeah, it's a better trade in the end for TNC. Yapaj was forced to walk back to get his refill, and is going to have to TP back in lane. So that's a free wave coming out for Armel. Evening him out. He's still behind, though. Still at level 4. Yapaj just about to hit 6. So Yapaj is still going to have the edge if he wants to try out his spells. Overall, very even on this laning start. Not as much aggression as you'd expect, but I suppose both sides do have slower supports in this game compared to what we're used to seeing.
Of course.
Precious moment.
I think
Many thanks.
gold for my chest. What a bounty!
Yeah, it's really been slow. You look at Scam in comparison, and his lane's tough as well, but you can leave him alone. He doesn't die. He's a 32-8. The Sven also clears out stacks a lot better, especially when you go for this cleave build as you tend to. So Scam is just set to farm up quick, and he's actually rushing a Midas here. Not even opting for the Mom, just wants the stable farm. Considering the timing, we're potentially looking at 7 to 8 minutes. I'd say this is a really good build-up for Scam, just because he's allowed to do it.
Step lively now. Your
Yeah.
admiral is on board.
It's a lot harder for TNC. Again, they went with the supports that you'd expect perhaps Tims to be a bit more active, but they just don't have the opportunities. You know, Whitemon can only do so much up top to stop a PvP from being zoned out, and Gabby. Yeah. Yeah, that's exactly what's going to happen. You look at Scam now. He's playing in the jungle. He's got the Midas flying in, Mike. 7.5 minutes. What do you do to stop this guy? They've got wards in the jungle to watch his movement. Tims can't get the angle. And down mid.
Forgive me. Evade.
Dire's top tower is under attack. Dire are scanning. Dire's top tower is under attack.
Yeah, It's about that time where both teams start to look for these tower trades. TNC are clumped up bot as well. 3 heroes down here trying to get a push, and John
Dire's
Yuel
top
might
tower
be the
is under
sacrifice.
attack. Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Dire's top tower has fallen. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Radiant structures are fortified.
Yeah, they've got the 2k lead at 9 minutes in, 4-2. There's Sven with a Midas, just clearing out stacks now. You couldn't ask for anything more, and also has a Iron Talon, so it's really just perfect here. Look at the push for TNC. They've got 4 heroes bot. The tower's just hitting the 600 HP mark. They had no siege creep. They don't push particularly fast, just not the best timing there, and that's a lot of time invested to take this objective out.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Radiant's bottom tower has fallen. Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Just, yeah, phase boots coming in just to increase the efficiency in that jungle, and he's just safe here. Like, you see some forays from TNC, even with that tier 1 down, they haven't gotten wards out, so they're just walking around under vision. Skem's just fine dancing here. They might lose play hard though.
Time to run them down.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
What? It works out. Skem, you know, I love the efficiency. Finds a kill, he uses his Midas. With no better feeling as a core mic.
Radiant structures are fortified.
Ooh.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Back to 4.
Radiant's top tower is under attack. Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Yeah, it's still giving them some money here though. TNC drags the lead down to just 1k. So it's kind of paying off. You have to be cautious about throwing too many bodies out front. If you are Neon, still this is time that Skem is using well. At the same time, Gabby's also sort of been left alone. This is something that Neon can't allow as well. Just letting Gabby ramp into that Battle Fury freely. Has 1 part down, is just 3 parts away. So if you let the PA free farm like this, she's going to suddenly pop in with Battle Fury, with perhaps a BKB, with a Desolator, and suddenly do a lot more than you'd expect. Neon have to sort of keep an eye out on Gabby in this game as well. Yeah, it's the stall out game here. They're building up stacks in the Ancients. They've got complete control in their triangle. No vision out on the top jungle, but that's not where Neon's been playing. So they've got a lot of room yet to farm up. I think Neon is the side that we should be looking for to play aggressive here. Like, mind us being slow, because they're just kind of building up. We need to see this blink on your pod that you mentioned actually pay off. So they have to be ready to go, ready to just get arenas off, start invading the jungle once the blink is up. You're also going to have that lineup with JG's mech timing on the offlane snap, so you're going to have sustain to make those fights happen. but they will have to break out soon. The Spirit Vessel of Armel that you mentioned, not as big as the Blink, but this will offset the mech timing here of JG as well. So it's a nice back and forth in terms of actually canceling each other's item spikes out. But we will have to see Neon actually stop, you know, not stop playing the farming game, but at least be more active as 4 while their Sven farms.
My favorite. Haste!
Dire's middle tower is under attack. Dire's structures are fortified. Radiant are
No, this is gonna make it a lot harder for them to get that free farm they're looking for on Gabby. So big objective being taken by Neon, and that's what we wanted to see. The Blink comes in, they immediately force a fight, and they keep running. They know they don't want to give that space away, but look at TNC, they're ready to defend.
What a bounty!
Step block?
Oh, Gabby?
Style!
Dire's courier has been killed.
Play hard.
Him doesn't even describe it!
Dire's middle tower is under
Yeah,
attack.
it's
Dire's structures are fortified.
there's nothing to stop them. Like, if they're keeping these waves shoved in, TNC's not getting any movement out in the map besides Gabby's lane down bot, which they are spotting out. And this is going to be big if TNC don't save him. Oh, Bosh.
It's an honorable death by my hand.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Oh, yeah. No?
Dire's bottom tower is under
No,
attack.
it's not going to be enough. The Deso needs to come in. Look at this as well. TNC, they smoked this tree. Blind, no vision, and they're just not going to find anything. In fact, KP might be in trouble. Oof.
Monster kill! Ooh, something about that felt extra.
Yeah, that... Perhaps. Looks like they are coming out here. This could just be down to the fact that Whitebond didn't whack Roche. You know, you mentioned it, but he didn't do that ritual, and look at this. Roche now being taken by Neon first. Into the pit. They've got to fight back here, TNC. They don't have the best vision. Just one behind a Roche, but that's not enough to really work with, and really not in position to contest anymore.
Radiant's tower is under attack. Roshan has fallen to the Radiant.
Wants to live forever!
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Oh, what? Woo. Oh yeah, I mean, if you were Tims, you'd get a heart attack there, right? Like, you got twacked by the arena wall right as you TP out on the edge. You would definitely panic. Still, you know, a good save out. That doesn't change the circumstance here. Neon still 7k lead. JG saving up for the Ags, 2 parts away, 1.6k gold away. And once you have that in your snap, oh man, the gobble up plays with a Sven, who did rush BKB, so Scam's super safe to fight. That's gonna be very hard to fight against for TNC.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Oh man. Nope. Yeah, it's almost like Yapaj is playing the actual PA and Gabby's just playing farm sim right now, just kind of building up. You were also gonna hit some pretty good spikes out as well. Like, again, once the Ags is up, just the gobble up plays that can happen is gonna be ridiculous. I think right now TNC, they're playing it right. They're just taking it slow with Gabby. They're not losing too much room, but it's just this aggression from Neon. 8k lead now. It's been growing wider. Scam's investment in the Might is just paying off, and they find one, but it's just a bench.
Precious bump. Regeneration.
Ooh.
Radiant are scanning.
Yeah, it's you just can't do anything against Scam. He did pop God's Strength. They are running forward though.
Bottom tower is under attack.
What? Oh!
Dire's structures are fortified. Dire's middle tower is under attack. Radiant's courier has been killed.
Oh man, Scam. That was on the edge there, Mike. Just almost dying. Januel with a save. Really buying out enough time. And they take a tier 2. They're looking for more. Gabby is lined up though, but are you sure about this? Scam's already pretty healthy.
Step lively. Your animal is on board.
Bottom tower is under attack.
Oh god.
You should not have crossed that.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Oh, definitely. Like, they jump in, they only take the Aegis, they lose tree for their efforts. Now the high ground's opened up, and with God's Strength running for a little bit more, tier 3 and potentially the Rack's just gone.
Has fallen. Dire's middle barracks are under attack. Dire's middle barracks has fallen. Dire are scared.
Oh boy. That's... That it does. Who do you gobble up? I think Yapaj, right?
Radiant's top tower
Just take
is under
Yapaj.
attack.
Scam can just Superman his way in. You get the fight started. You've got BKBs. TNC, they're going out to the triangle.
started.
Oh boy. That they are. And TNC, it's just a bit disconnected right now. They're not getting the movements out. You know, Tim's, we talked about his Tiny not being as active early on. He wasn't able to really get anything done mid. So Armel doesn't get off to a snowballed start. And he just gets Spirit Vessel, which is nice, but not enough to offset this runaway start. We need to see bigger plays come out. They are lacking in team fight. They need the Tiny to line up the toss plays here.
No. Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Yeah. Would be a big movement up back. Still Neon. They smoke up. They know they can just keep playing forward. No cooldowns to wait for. Just constant running.
Monster kill for the
Amazing what you'll find laying around.
Radiant structures are fortified.
Oh.
Dire's bottom tower is under
He TP'd.
attack.
Ooh, boy. Yep, that spot of Merienda not playing well there still. Yaposh?
Dire's bottom tower is under attack. Dire's bottom tower has fallen.
Execution style. Mortal royalty. Thank me.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Yep, and that's what you were talking about. Those crits with a God's Rebuke will start to kick in. You also have to consider...
Dire's turret has been
Ooh.
killed.
Died well enough.
Dire's middle barracks are under attack.
Oh god.
Radiant's top tower
Yeah,
is under
that's
attack.
balanced. That's completely balanced here for Skem. Just looking amazing. Man, it's just lined up too well. Like, I was talking about your Posh. 12-0. Mike, not a single death in that Mars. And Gabby, you don't want to farm here.
I didn't think.
Oh. The misses! Yep. Oh god. Oh, oh.
Perfect. Of course.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
They can't sustain this. Like, there's just no way Gabby can carry this anymore. Too far behind. BKB not even done. Queuing up the Divine next. That is one way, but they need to stall out long enough for that Divine. Now, there is a tier 2 top here for TNC, so they're not quite going to be facing Mega Creeps, but they need to find something.
Dire's bottom tower has fallen.
Yeah, balanced. Gotta love that life steal now coming out for Skem. Was gonna say that's the one thing he lacked because he didn't go for the mom build, but kind of fixes itself. TNC walking into their jungle was scanned out, so Neon kind of knows where they are. Do get some wards out, but that's not gonna stop them as well. Ooh.
So
16-0. 16-0.
Your son has fallen to the radiant.
Yep, it's just ridiculous. I mean, you know, at every single position, it's just insane. The zoning Scatterblast has, Cookie's repositioning use, the damage the Axe Rush gives you, the saving potential it has, and Neon's been able to abuse that. 30 to 7 at 29 minutes in. It's just been complete domination in TNC. They're playing on the right side of the map, but nothing's there to stop Neon anymore.
Dire's bottom barracks are under attack. Dire's bottom barracks are under attack. Dire's bottom barracks is falling.
So this whole mess is all your fault?
Oh boy. Oh god. So how have you allowed your pause to go 18-0 here? That just a lack of activity mid, and you can't do that when you've got a player like Yaposh. 18-0, and he still has cheese. He still has cheese. That's just insane. Oh my god.
Mine is truly a blessed life.
Yep.
Sneak attack?
Pretty ridiculous. Considering his damage output, right? Like, he's the actual PA. Now, Gabby's not even on the same level. Gabby can't pretend. Yapaj is the actual PA. That's it. Oh. Yeah. Slot efficiency for that damage, I suppose. Always nice. If you get lucky, it's gonna be great. And yeah, even their supports are so farmed up. Like Playhard has an Aeon disc, so he's safe up front. In fact, Playhard has more farm than KP's core ET by 3k. They're just that far ahead.
Dire's top tower is under attack. Dire's top tower has fallen.
Oh man.
Dire's top tower has fallen. Dire's top barracks Dire's top barracks are under attack. Dire's top barracks is falling. The Radiant now has taken Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Oh my god. Seriously? What?
So
Dire's structures are fortified.
20-0, that's when they call it. 20-0, that's all they wanted. Give the brother the 20-0-12, Mike. That's it. Yeah, they are. And that's the ridiculous thing about it. I think, again, we talked a bit about it in, you know, Pro
Dire team ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
TNC Predators turn to ban.
Dire team ban.
TNC Predators turn to ban.
Dire team pick.
TNC Predators turn.
Vengeful spirit.
Dire team pick.
TNC Predators turn.
You know, I'm feeling great. That was a great
Dire
performance
team
from
back.
Neon. Again, surprising. All the way bottom right now in groups, but you can see the draft flying through here. Get the Snap Fireface's Void combo off for TNC. Neon, they pick up the Venge again, and they've got the Tiny. So a bit of a swap there with the heroes we've seen. TNC, Snap Fire coming through.
10 seconds
We
remaining.
have seen the Snap do a lot of work. We saw
TNC
Neon,
Predators
JG played
turn to
fantastically on off. We'll see what TNC opts to do, what role it takes. But Gabby on Discomfort faces Void. Something we've seen TNC fall back to when they have a rough first game. They pick up the Void and they start playing around Gabby a lot more. This is going to enable Gabby to have that presence, but
10
with
seconds
Avenge Tiny here, Neon, they might be looking at, say, Drow, although into Void
5
that's kind of
seconds
risky, but
remaining.
having the Venge on hand already has a save for that Chronosphere.
Dire team ban.
Mm-hmm.
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
TNC Predators turn to ban.
Dire team ban.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
10 seconds remaining.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and
5 seconds remaining.
oh, yeah. No. And that was down to just going passive with, you know, Gabby's PA couldn't really do as much. He was trying
Turn
to
to
farm
ban.
against Sven. It's not a battle you win. I think, again, they've gone back to this Gabby faces Void, which can do a lot more. Only needs, what, a Mask of Madness, really, to make the Chronospheres work out. So we're looking at a better timings here for TNC.
10
Neon, though,
seconds remaining.
I'm looking at the bans from TNC. They take out the Drow, yep. They take out the Doom to ensure
seconds
Gabby
remaining.
can just get the Chrono off. I think you have to be worried about the Arc Warden. I think that's going to be an option here for Scam if he wants it.
TNC
Or your
Predators
Posh.
turn to pick.
Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you only have 2 bans before the first picks come in per side. It's a lot easier to let these meta heroes slide through. You tend to see a lot of these cores banned in the second phase, though. So that's where you see them. Yeah, Lena, which you mentioned, yeah, I mean, you mentioned watching a lot of Europe. I believe the Lena's been coming through, and the only time I watched ESL, the one thing I kept hearing was that Lacoste does not like it, or something like that. Like, they were like, oh, you don't like this Lena. I heard Garrett and Lacoste me poking fun at it. They
Dire team pick.
Yeah.
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think they should touch Clockwork. It's more of what Clockwork enables. So in this situation, right, you see Clockwork and Snap. Hookshot into Kisses. We saw that in their first series today. Just being so effective. So you're not beholden to just that Faceless Void Chrono. You have this Clockwork support that can play with your Snap and set up these kills. It's just TNC making this draft work out for them with more aggression, which they did lack in Game 1. So you expect a bit more of a fight there. Clock into Venge Tiny, though, is not amazing for the Clockwork outside of that combo. Like, say, Hookshot, if the Venge is around, easy swap saves coming through. Tiny can just toss the Clockwork away to stop the battery assault as well. So there's a bit of a back and forth there with his Clockwork pick, but I think overall, you're talking about Clockwork Snap. That's all you really want from that duo.
TNC Predators turn.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, looking like it in this case.
10 seconds
Tiny
remaining.
mid. Now, it should be fine. As you mentioned, your Podge is very comfy in it.
5 seconds
What I am
remaining.
curious about now is how you split up the Venge and Treant. Both of them are not particularly selfish supports, so either one in the Pause 4 is not going to be as terrifying. I believe it should be the Treant, though. So you're going to get the Meteor Hammer build up at a good point. They will stall out these pushes, and it's just another way to kind of save people from the long-range ganks, right? You can throw the living armor up to stall out that death even further from a gank. And we've seen Neon play around those stall outs well. They can follow up. They almost always commit when someone's trying to make that space. They come in with numbers, and TNC might find themselves overextending, so they've got to be a bit careful of that up against this Treant. Of course, Treant gives him overgrowth as well, some form of team fight now coming out, massive AoE control on top of that with her Tiny, so it's kind of shaping up. It's a bit difficult for the Void if you don't catch either the Venge or the Treant, because you either get a swap out on your target or you get overgrowth, and without the BKB or a Manta, you're just kind of stuck in that
Dire
chrono.
team pick.
Bloodseeker.
Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
It's just way too open-ended for me to actually read to properly. Like, the Tiny mid alone just enabled so many combinations from the off and from the
Dire
save.
team
Seeing this
back.
Bloodseeker, though, is pretty terrifying. TNC has built up really well on their entire lineup. Neon does go for Spectre, which I'm not sure how I would feel about it into a Void and Bloodseeker. Like, it's a bit risky. Like, I think the laning is okay for the
10
Spectre against the
seconds
Bloodseeker.
remaining.
Should be able to hold its own.
TNC
Neon,
Predators
I suppose
turn to
now,
ban.
we really need to see how often they want to play with that Haunt. Like, they don't have room for a Zeus. Unless it's an offlane Tiny, but I don't ever think JG plays that there, so it's gonna have to be a Paj. But if you play around with Haunt here, it's a longer cooldown than Chrono. At the same time,
10
that's one way to get your
seconds
Spectre running. I am feeling TNC's draft a little bit more, just
5
because we've seen
seconds
KP and the Bloodseeker be really effective. We've got these combos with a Snap, faces Void and Clock. Neon, it's not quite as lined up. There's a way to pull it off, it's just not as straightforward as TNC's draft.
Dire team ban.
TNC Predators turn to ban.
Dire team pick.
I think TNC, they
10
think it's a
seconds
trade-off.
remaining.
They banned out the Pango and the Silencer.
TNC
Those both look like play hard heroes. Expecting the JG Treant. Now, the Venomancer is even more confusing here. Treant plus Veno is pretty potent. They have ways of indefinitely stalling out tower pushes with living armor plus the Veno wards. I don't know how I feel about it though. Like, Overgrowth plus Poison
10
Nova is nice.
seconds
Tiny
remaining.
to follow up. Spectre, once you're big enough, can kind of handle the rest.
5
It's
seconds
just that if
remaining.
TNC does land these Chronos, or at least land the hook shot cogs into the kisses, with Bloodright on top, that's just going to instantly burst heroes down constantly. And they've got this Void Spirit for Armel. We've seen him dance around in this hero. The draft does look a bit better here for TNC in game number 2.
Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
Nah, definitely not early on. I think you're looking at later levels. I mean, you can't really stop a Spectre, right? Not with a Clockwork. You just get the Spectral Dagger out. Yeah, the chase kind of stops itself with Cog's Battery Assault. So you're going to have to reconsider how you approach that for TNC. If they are looking at an even farming lane with maybe some pressure, I think KP can pull it off. He's got better regen. Saying that, though, it's still a treant here for John Yuel. So even if you try to bully Skem out, living armor is just going to keep him alive anyway. Oh yeah. No. Yeah, it's a lot of pressure on you, Paj. Now, mind you, we're saying it's a lot of pressure on a guy that just went 20-0. You know, we're talking about Scam going 15-0 as well, so they had a fantastic, as you mentioned, fantastic performance game 1. They just kind of need to replicate that, which is easier said than done, but
Prepare for
it
battle.
looked so domineering earlier. I think this time, that highlight, as you mentioned, is on mid. Armel needs to absolutely dominate that Tiny with his Void Spirit. Like, you can't allow Yapaj to have a smooth ramp up to his 6, to have a smooth ramp up to his Blink. That's going to be the key timer for Yapaj. Blink Dagger for the Avalanche toss combos. Once you have that, all the space in the world is going to be bought out. And, you know, it's not something you can afford to do. TNC, for their part, there has to be a little bit more farm history. Look at this, Mike. Whitemon. Look at Whitemon. He's done it. He's doing it.
Are you ready to rumble?
That's a key to victory, Mike. Maybe this time TNC's got the good juju going because of this.
30 seconds to battle.
Yep. I have no clue. Like, it's not for war. It's not for any control. I think it's good luck. I think it's a good juju. You know, this is how he gets his APM up. This is how he gets to focus in, Mike. He sees the Roche, beelines for it. They get an even bounty rune trade as well. And I think TNC, they're pretty fine with this. We're not seeing shenanigans in any sort of lane swaps. It's just going to be straightforward. They do draw a Whitemon bot, so we've got a Faceless Void Snapfire dual lane. Not the most potent, mind you. Like, the Whitemon can kind of zone out, play hard here, maybe try to play against JG, get some space out for the Void. But Void versus Veno, you talked about it. It can be hard for the Void to dodge that DOT damage. So JG, once he hits level 3, should be a good point to make it harder for Gabby to find some safe farm.
Small adjustment. I sense distortions in the void. Your anger is useless here. Not for you!
Yeah, it's a bit tricky, and Yapaj is already off to a decent start. 4-2, Armel's just close though. Yeah, not good. Not good for Armel. Still, gonna be important for those power runes as well when it comes up, right? Like, both the Tiny and the Void Spirit will want those runes up, so rune control is gonna be key. You can already see the wards watching it, and you can't overstep as well if you're Armel. Yapaj can just throw the Avalanche, and Resonant Pulse does not block Avalanche. Yeah, it's just harder for Armel if he does overextend. So at the least, you know, if he juggles at the similar timing, fine. He's going to be on point. Still, have a look at the top lane, which we haven't really peeked into. You've got Skem along with Januel on that Spectre plus Treant up against KP's Bloodseeker, and Tim's on that clock, getting off the pull. We're going to find out EXP. Of course, they are trying to bully KP away. The issue is a Bloodseeker left alone is a Bloodseeker happy. He gets some EXP, he's got Thirst running, and he can just kind of find regen just from the creep wave dying. So it's really hard to completely zone out a Bloodseeker, and Skem can't do much about it, even with a Treant.
Nothing to your pile. Rolling stone.
Yeah, it's a bit trickier for Gabby to play on the edge, but they're not being aggressive here, TNC, so there's no overextension to punish. And as you mentioned, Neon's just kind of stuck playing this passive game. They do secure the bot, even though Play Hard does take it.
Denied.
Radiant's courier has been killed. Dire's courier has been killed.
Yeah, it took a while. Like, that was right around the 5-minute mark for first blood. That does give a lot of bounties out towards the side of Neon. 3 so far. They should be able to snipe one away. No, it's denied off by Play Hard. So 3 for nil bounties at the 5-minute mark. Neon not going to feel too bad now giving first blood, finding those map objectives. Yep. It's never something you want to see, and that's down to the fact that Tins is forced to run a trial lane bot. Like, he has to maintain this presence, but he's copying a lot of damage here.
Dire's structures are fortified.
I sense this generational void.
Yeah, you know, you ask and you shall receive, and he does get it. Rotation up top. KP is not healthy. This could be a good kill.
Once more me. Thanks.
And we're just seeing the value from that living armor. It stalls out these fights long enough. We mentioned that in draft, but Neon, when they can stall a fight, they start to really clump in and start finding those wins. So you have to be cautious about how far forward you push this out. Try lane for TNC bot, not paying off just yet.
If you look long enough into the void.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Alive. Stone dead.
Dire's middle tower.
Thea,
is
you're
under
pretty
attack.
happy if you're a tiny 102. Gonna have a good ramp up, though.
I may be faceless, but I'm not maceless.
That's a bit of an issue, not having any stuns outside of your Venge here and your tiny. So 2 escapes coming out, not finding the punishment. As you mentioned, good chrono out for Gabby. Not the biggest kill. It did take a while, but you found a kill. Gabby as well is forced to go for this Hood of Defiance build, so it's not Mask of Madness. He's gonna have to go defensive. They can play around with their other spells instead, but this does indicate that Gabby might want to play with a Chrono Snapfire combo that we've been talking about.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Dire's top tower is under attack. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Radiant structures are fortified. Dire's top tower is under attack. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Dire's top tower has fallen.
Yeah, and they've already got Whitemon hanging in the back line. It's just a couple of creeps away from the 6 as well, so this is going to be really good timing for TNC if they go for the defense, but looks like they're not.
Radiant's
Level 6 is up on Whitemondo. Could try to do a Kisses play if he wanted to.
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
Gift from the goddess.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Jackpot.
Yeah. Oh.
You're a sentimental.
It just sets him back even further on that. Void Spirit is lagging behind our Tiny by just a small amount, but he has wasted a lot of time walking around.
Is under attack.
My last.
Yeah, it's an interesting build here from Scam. Blade Meal Rush on that Spectre. Not something we see too often from a Spectre that has been free farming. I think we see it when they're behind.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Ooh. Yeah, just Haunt Blades coming in. Really good use of that in the Scam. And guessing Blade Meal is the meta now, is it? I haven't seen Spectre in a while. Oh.
My mechanism is broken.
Yeah.
Your call.
Yeah. Draws it out 7-7. TNC's gonna be pleased in the end with the results of that. Your Podge just pushing it a bit too far. Needs to wait for that blink to really jump the back line. Just about 800 gold off, and once you've got that, you're in a really good spot. Pace of the game is rather even. I think I'm looking at Gabby. He's also going for a Manta style after that Defiance. We are seeing Scam go for that exact same item next. John Uwell is, of course, you know, on the pause of 5 treant, so we're not seeing anything like a Meteor Hammer come out, but he is still being highly effective in shoving out these waves, even with just level 1 Nature's Grasp. It's just enough to stall out those pushes, which is what you want with the treant. The next big things to come out here for TNC has to be the build up on our Mel. Yule still being saved up for, not quite there yet. And once you've got the Yules, you can at least set up, find some solo kills. And TNC, they are smoked up, trying to make something happen.
novel.
Oh.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
My venom dissipates.
Regeneration.
Yeah, just take their time here. I mean, not a favorable trade at all. TNC's still gonna be happy if they're still playing this farming game. Really just boils down to that. Like, if you can't find any of these cores farming up, you draw even in terms of the supports. Map control is relatively even here as well. I just saw the both wards up top expire at the same time. So they're maintaining control at the same time. That ward we saw at the bot lane, bot triangle as well. They're just keeping it even. And it's like a spring, like a coil that's set to just kind of unwind. It's going to be explosive once they're ready, which could be now as Yopaj does have his blink.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Baseless.
Still looking pretty good for TNC. They hold on to the chrono. Now they probably want to save that for when kisses are back up, which is relatively soon. They know the blink's ready. They know the haunt's down, overgrowth's down. It's an opportunity for TNC if they wanted to.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Yeah, it's just a massive win there, and that was the chrono we were looking for with the kisses, just lining up that combination. TNC always had that option on hand. Neon does not have a clear angle to reach Whitemon at the back. That's the one issue with these heroes. It's down to really just Yopaj to sneak in there and cancel off the kisses, and that's a job easier said than done for the Tiny. Now, they do hold on to their mid-tier 1. You're seeing the Treant effect come into play. They're healing it up and kind of undo the damage there. So they hold on to their objectives, and TNC, well, they do have a slight net worth lead now, 2k up in their end, but you would want these objectives to start falling as well. As you stall it out, you know, the Treant just gets more and more value from keeping this game prolonged.
For the twins.
They've gotten enough space out for our Faceless Void to really just free farm. The investment in this Hood of Defiance has saved him more than once now, which is absolutely great for Gabby. Neon at this point, they've got this weird draft where there's some momentum-based heroes here, like JG's Venomancer and Yopaj's Tiny. They needed to play fast around these heroes, but at 18 minutes in, it does feel like they've slipped that momentum out. Now it's all about stalling. stall, stall, stall until Schem is big enough to really handle everyone else, and that's a ways off. Like, the Manta style is almost done, 800 gold away. After that, we're looking for more items coming in, and we already pointed it out, but Gabby is actually ahead of the Spectre as well. So Neon kind of needs to find an angle, maybe try to get that pick-off game still going with Yapaj. It's been a lot slower for the Tiny than we'd expect, and his build-up as well is more utility. 4 staff into Yules for Yapaj means our damage output is not going to be as bursty as it can be.
Rolling out.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
No, they... Oh.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Everyone, you're larger than somehow still less than a world.
Oh man. Yeah, they're not cleanly finding anything to catch out Schem, but
Dire's middle tower is under attack. Dire's structures are fortified. Radiant's top tower is under attack.
and you can see what TNC's trying to do here. They're throwing their heads against the wall to get this mid-tier 1, but it's a Treant game. If they take too long to win these fights, and by the time they do, Treant's back up, healing the mid-tier 1, they can't go for the fight, and now with smoke from Neon, they want to play aggressive down there, and
Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Radiant structures are fortified. Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
yeah, it's just a brutal back and forth from both sides, finally ending that stalemate mid. So you've got a tier 1 mid-tower advantage here for the side of Neon. That enables them to perhaps start digging into this jungle here on TNC's end. For TNC's part though, they do have wards watching for now. that entrance, so they should know when someone's playing around that area, but not for too long, as at least one of the wards will expire. Now it's, again, back to that farming game. Skem saving up for the Diffusal. So Diffusal Manta is the name of the game here. Once you've got that, you can definitely run down to Faceless Void. You'll have to watch your mana management here if you're Gabby. And looking at Gabby, he is saving up for the MKB next. So just steady damage build up for Faceless Void. Same thing goes for our Spect, although Gabby has to be a bit cautious. Nah. Yeah. Yeah, they want to reveal it that Silent is going to mess up Neon. They don't really have defensive items. They still don't have the Yules up on Yapaj. The Manta on Skem will save him once, but not twice over. So going to have to watch the use on that Dispel. And they are smoked up as 4. They've left KP behind, but it's on the wrong side of the map.
Coming in.
My path leads to riches.
Dire's middle tower is under attack. Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Oh.
Dire's middle tower is under attack. Dire's middle tower is under attack. Radiant's courier has been killed. Dire's middle tower.
It's a magnificent win coming out from them. Really good use. It was a bit scattered. Like the Chrono was only onto 1, the Kisses were only onto 1, but it doesn't matter when you find the wins anyway. And that does give them a 5k lead. Neon just a bit too scattered in the response. They can't afford to have Yapaj die first, right? Like a lot of their fights, a lot of their wins were off the back of this Tiny. Yapaj needs to watch his positioning a bit more, and they really need to protect that Spectre. Like the fact that they all got caught in Blood Right, the silence meant that they couldn't swap out, they couldn't save, and Scam was just in a very awkward spot. The Blade Mail alone at this point isn't enough to stop the heroes of TNC from hitting away. And it's just kind of melt when they can focus you down. So TNC now 6k up. They really just need to find more objectives on the map, but with those wins, with those kills, with the scaling a Faceless Void gets, and with the MKB Gabby has now, I think their chances are looking pretty darn good, even if they're not quite clearing out the towers
Dire's
yet.
middle tower is under attack. Radiant's courier has been killed.
Flare.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Oh,
Dire's bottom tower is under attack. Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Ooh, Neon just not lining up their intro in there. Like you mentioned it, but stall out from Tim's just opening up so many opportunities. First ages of the game going the way of Gabby. And Neon now in a very bad spot. 28 to 20, sure, fairly close there, but 11k behind with a Spectre. It's not a great feeling, right? Your Spectre is just feeling weaker and weaker. Skem with a Blade Mail, Manta Diffusal can still pick off single target heroes, but the greater team fights are just not shaping up. And we're reaching a point now where the Faceless Void's Chronosphere is just that much more important. There's just nothing to stop it. Gabby's got the damage built up. He's got the durability. This diversion into the Heart of Defiance paying off dividends for a Faceless Void. And Neon, they hold on to objectives. They can stall out with Johnny well, but they need to start winning some of these fights. They need to get Yapaj in the position where he can get burst, and this is one shortcoming of this utility build. He just isn't finding the damage anymore at 30 minutes in.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Very difficult. I'm not sure what itemization we might see from Skem to help out. Like the Scotty is going to help a bit. It just doesn't feel like he's going to have the same impact as the Faceless Void is right now, unless he gets that much tankier. And even Armel, right? He's rushing the Octarine. It's going to be that much more durable. Going to have that much more spell spam coming through. It's going to be so hard to deal with. And with a smoke, perfect scan off the Skem. It's in a risky spot.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Yeah.
Dire's structures are fortified.
Yeah, no rush,
Dire's
and they hold the
bottom
Aegis
tower has
for about 2 more minutes anyway. They've got a lot of time in it. Dota Plus is giving them an 87% advantage, and I think that's just set to grow against the effect of the Faceless Void towards late game. Neon really need to get Scam that space out. The Satanic is up for Gabby, so he's just going to be that much harder to kill. There is a smoke here though. Neon want to defend that tier 2.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack. Dire's bottom tower is under attack. Radiant structures are fortified.
One more?
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
And you can see why